Welcome to CBS Sports HQ, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. There's a new mission in North Carolina. It is a new day there. Bill Belichick
Mission hoodie.
Do you think he's going to wear that?
He can do whatever the hell he wants.
I've been trying to figure out if he's going to show up like to the first game with a cutoff hoodie.
Well, he showed up to his introductory press conference today in full suit, big smile on his face. Maybe it's going to be the new Bill Belichick for people like us in the media.
He's been on the Manning cast so much, he learned how to smile.
He's kind of been a member of the media, so maybe he has a newfound respect. Bill Belichick taking over at North Carolina. Many wondering, should an NFL team have given this guy a chance? It sounds like teams would have let him be the head coach, but not necessarily be the general manager as well. Right now we have 3 head coach openings going into next season: Bears, Jets, Saints. But every year we get at least 5, so expect this list to grow moving forward. For more on Bill Belichick, we want to bring in Bryant McFadden and Douzable, who both obviously spent many a year in the NFL. Bryant McFadden played for an old college coach in Bobby Bowden, and then Mike Tomlin, kind of a hard ass in the NFL. Douzable, all those years at UCF and then with the Jets. I want to ask you guys, and BMAC, you can start us off. Do you think that any NFL team made a mistake by not giving the greatest NFL coach of all time one more chance somewhere else?
Well, I think the bigger question is, in terms of did any organization make a mistake, is why didn't Bill Belichick wait to see if he can get an opportunity to interview with some of the openings that we know as of today? Now, the issue is, guys, time-wise, because we know how this process goes, right? In terms of interviewing potential head coaches in the National Football League, that doesn't start until the end of the season. We pretty much still have a full month left of NFL football in terms of regular season play. So if you're Bill Belichick, did you want to wait and see what opportunities may present themselves, or you felt like this was the best opportunity and, to hell with the NFL? Let's go ahead and get my next phase in my coaching career going, which is going down a level to the collegiate side of things and coaching a team in the North Carolina Tar Heels. So I don't know if we wouldn't have seen teams give Belichick an opportunity to interview, but the time was the best, I guess the biggest issue in terms of what we just saw witness with Belichick deciding to become the head coach for UNC.
Yeah, B-Mac, I don't believe any NFL team made a mistake by not giving Bill Belichick a ring or interview process, just because when you look at Bill Belichick in his history, the way he coaches, the way he manages teams, it's not currently conducive to the way the NFL is currently constructed right now. And I think that was the issue last year when he was interviewing for jobs. Bill Belichick wants the gambit, right? He wants to be in control of everything. And Bill Belichick, the GM, had struggled for the last 5 or 6 years in regards to developing young talent. And then we saw the debacle with Mac Jones, right? He went from playing at a almost Pro Bowl level year, his rookie year. Then when Josh McDaniels leaves, right, the arrogance of Bill Belichick to bring in Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, who have never worked on the offensive side of the ball, for them to develop their young quarterback, and we saw the results. So I think a lot of NFL teams saw that and wondered, can Bill Belichick do it his way anymore? Is it conducive to the NFL style? Can he have success with it? Because they hadn't seen it for the last 3 years. So I think that was the biggest thing when it came to NFL teams. Bill may be wanting more power than owners were willing to give him, and then his coaching style and the way he manages is no longer conducive to the current NFL state.
Guys, let me ask you this. Look, in the days leading up to this, when all the rumors were swirling around, I was talking to one of my friends, and he was saying, well, I bet Nick Saban's getting on the phone and trying to talk him out of going to college ball. And turns out it was kind of the opposite. Yeah. We found out that Nick Saban was talking to him. Crazy. But this is what you expect in college football. This is how things are going to go. I mean, if you are Bill Belichick, and none of us are in his head, BMAC, is he still trying to prove something? Or is it just this guy wants to coach and this was the opportunity at hand?
I think it's more of the latter. He wants to coach. He still loves the game of football. He wants to be a part of the game. He wants to coach. There's nothing left for him to prove. I mean, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest to ever do it in terms of head coaching at the highest level in the National Football League. So this is more so about Bill just wanting to be involved in the game, coaching the game. And I can speak, I don't know how it was when I retired. I don't know the same for Leger, but you still want to be involved. You still want to have something going on. In terms of physical play, it's hard for us when we retire to be able to get those opportunities because we don't have the physical athleticism that we once had when we were younger. But in terms of coaching, all you need to make sure you need to have in place is the above the shoulder game, the instance, being able to relate and being able to coach and draw up schemes and things like that. Clearly, Bill Belichick is still in a position where he can be a very, very intellectual coach to be able to draw up things. So it's more so about Coach Belichick just loving ball and wants to coach. Hey, he probably would have took a high school coaching job, it sounds like, because he just wanted to be around football.
Honestly, that might have been more fun. Like, I think I would pay more money to see Bill Belichick coach high school football than I would college football.
That would be interesting as well, but I can't wait to see it.
It's going to be a ton of fun. Leger, let me ask you this about North Carolina specifically. We know this as a basketball school. Chip Patterson, excuse me, of the Cover 3 podcast, he went there and he was like, you know, I guess why not? We haven't really done much in the past. Yes, there was a Mac Brown era. That was a lot of fun. A couple quarterbacks came out of there. You could say they're desperate. Leger, if you had to pick a university, would it have been North Carolina, though?
I think North Carolina makes the most sense because of what I was talking about earlier. They gave him the gambit. Supposedly, he came up with a 400-page foolproof method when it came down to breaking NIL down, the GM that he was going to hire, and it ultimately ended up being somebody he's worked with before, Michael Lombardi, who was an NFL exec. And when you look at it, I think that's what Bill Belichick was looking for, somebody that was going to give him the gambit, full control of the program. And North Carolina gave him this opportunity. To Hazard's point, right? If North Carolina wins 8 or 9 games, like, that's a successful year for them, because you just saw it in the last 10 years. They muddled around 6, 7, 8 wins every single year. So expectations aren't going to be like they would be at a Florida State or Oregon or another school, right? So going to North Carolina, Bill could potentially have 2 or 3 years to kind of build it his way, and it seems like they're going to give him all the power. Read a rumor that they've really increased the NIL money from $4 million to $20 million. So it'll be interesting to see how the new GM, Michael Lombardi, you know, with Bill Belichick, because we know he's going to have a hand in it, and how that's going to be dispersed among the athletes they plan on bringing into North Carolina, how that flows as well. So to me, man, it just made a lot of sense, because this is a place that doesn't have great expectations, right? If they win 7 or 8 games, right, they're golden at North Carolina.
Yeah, I agree with you, Leger. When you talk about marginal expectations, if you're Bill Belichick, anything that you do could be considered to be a huge, significant, improvement. Not to mention, you can recruit at North Carolina. I mean, they're in a prime location. When you talk about where they're located, when you talk about being a part of Jordan brand, not to mention maybe having Michael Jordan be a very, very influential individual in terms of recruiting some of the big name players that you would love to get to be a part of your program. So me personally, it makes sense, because you're walking into a situation where the expectations are at the bare minimum. They're a middle tier program in the ACC. You look at the ACC is mostly top heavy, so you have an opportunity to cause some chaos in that conference, and not to mention outside of trying to get into a playoff conversation eventually in the near future.
Bill Belichick will be formally introduced at a press conference 2 p.m. Eastern time later on today. We'll carry that live here on CBS Sports HQ. BMAC, Leger, thank you. Amanda, you know where North Carolina's bowl game is this year?
Wait, yes, I do. It's in New England. It's the Fenway Bowl, right?
It's the Fenway Bowl in New England.
Which is amazing.
NFL this weekend. Oh, we've got the big one. Bills at Lions, 4:25 Eastern on CBS and Paramount Plus, and the NFL Today crew will be live from Detroit.